now we will be having a panel dedicated to AI in financial services. This is a very important topic because I think after the ChatGPT moment, as we call it, from futuristic discussions, we actually passed in 1 second to a discussion how we can start doing it yesterday. So I'm very happy to introduce you to the next panelists. So we'll be having Aizhan Arinova, who is leading the AI integration in the National Bank of Kazakhstan. Talgat Amanbayev, whom you already saw today, the Chief Innovation Officer at the Astana Innovation International Financial Center. And Amangeldy Zhumabekov, CEO of a very ambitious new project, Cryptic AI. The moderation will be held by Nikhil Vadgama, whose area of expertise, academic expertise, actually includes AI. Welcome, and I'll leave you this.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are down to 3 panelists. We had 4 before, but we're not yet in the age where we could have had also an AI agent on the panel as well, but that would have been quite interesting if we had arranged it. Before I go into the panel itself, we had Christina ask a question just before about how many people had been using digital assets. And I think maybe half the room put up their hands, maybe less than half. More, would you agree or not? Was it about half? About half, okay. Let me put this in another way. How many people here have used AI today? How many people have used AI in the last 2 hours? There we go. So you kind of see the difference between the adoption and indeed the pace at which blockchain has come into markets and how AI has actually, you know, surpassed even some of the previous apps that have broken records for their particular adoption itself. So we have our panel this afternoon on AI in financial systems. As we all know, AI is being applied to almost every function in financial services. We're going to talk about some of them, I hope, underwriting, fraud detection, regulatory reporting, and even get the perspective on how it is being used in supervision as well. The question for Kazakhstan is not whether AI will reshape the financial system. It is a question only of how fast will that happen, on whose terms, and with what controls in place. And we have 3 perspectives about this on stage. We have the central bank, we have the AIFC innovation, and indeed we have builders as well, talking about their particular perspective as well. The discussion we're going to have, I've broken down into 3 kind of parts, right? The first is about what AI is actually being deployed, and we're going to ask the panel about that. Then we're going to move on to actually discussing about the implementations itself. What makes that hard? What makes it risky, perhaps? And why is it hard to govern? And then the last part will focus on Kazakhstan and what it should prioritize next in terms of supervision, future plans, regulation, and indeed institutional readiness. But before I get into the formal questions in these 3 rounds, I'd just like the panel to give me some framing remarks, if they may. And for Talgat and Amangeldy, I'll ask you about your view on where Kazakhstan stands on AI, one way that you have personally used AI, or personally or professionally, and if you would, if you don't have to, your favorite AI tool, application, or use case. Okay? And for Aizhan, I want to begin with the National Bank strategic agenda, because that sets the institutional context for the rest of the discussion. Panelists, please don't talk about the particular use case in depth. We've got plenty of time to talk about that a bit later, but this is just to kick things off. So if I start with you, Talgat, from the AIFC and innovation ecosystem perspective, where do you think Kazakhstan currently stands on AI? And is there an AI tool, application, or use case that has changed how you work or think about financial innovation?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Nikhil. So first of all, AIFC, AI is in our name, right? First two letters are AI. And it's a good joke to start from, but in general, you can see adoption of AI in a quasi-state and private businesses. We have cases in the news how our sovereign wealth fund, Samruk Kazina, has introduced AI board member. There were attempts to do RegTech and SubTech with the use of AI. Particularly at AIFC, we try to apply it for the scoring mechanism. When you come to AIFC and set up a company, there's very little traditional scoring they can give about the company, right? You have to dig into who is the founder, what's the capital, what they do in the business, and try to get the reputation context, try to build the score for this new entity that was set up at AIFC. Speaking of favorite tools, I think investing in every tool is a good choice because there is a great race that we're witnessing. As of yesterday, I love Anthropic and Claude again because they just released Fable 5 and it's been showing great, except it's very expensive now. It eats the tokens very fast. At work, we use a lot of vibe coding apps. We actually turned some of our developers into vibe coders. They are much cheaper. They do a lot of more projects, and there are great tools out there that allow to do simultaneous tasks. And then our steering committee, which was deciding what sprint to work on, has been increasing its pace of features rolling out for our internal portal, for the participants. So I think a good use financial effect already. And for the plans, I think regulation, how do we govern AI? How do we work with it? Most importantly, how do we punish AI for doing something wrong is a question that we're trying to answer. Yeah, briefly this.
Fantastic, thank you. We're going to go into some of those points as we continue on our panel. If I may turn to you, Amangeldy, from the builder side, where do you think Kazakhstan is strongest on AI adoption? And the same question to you on what AI tool, product, or use case do you currently find most compelling?
Well, yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. Second of all, I'm glad that we don't have AI sitting next to us because it probably would have given more complex and sophisticated answers than we do. But yeah, so we, as AI company, I always say that you shouldn't use AI just to use AI, because right now, if you want somebody to throw money at you, you just put AI-powered label next to the name of your company, and you might raise some investments. Although we're just trying to use those models that are highly efficient. I don't think it's possible for Kazakhstan, at least right now, to build our own LLM, which is going to be as efficient, as productive as the ones we have, like top tier in the world. So again, I agree with my colleague. We also love Claude AI. I personally love Notebook LM because it gives you a lot of opportunities to present what you are working on. But yeah, again, in the sense of productivity, we tend to often forget about the privacy, and we tend to forget about the cybersecurity itself. I was actually surprised when I was talking to a lot of my colleagues from financial institutions in Kazakhstan, because they were so interested in the product itself. They didn't even bother about the privacy, security, and everything. That's actually very good because we have enthusiasm. We, as a young nation, as a digitally friendly nation, we easily adapt new technologies, but at the same time, we have to keep in mind that they possess a great risk, they possess a great security possible issues, so we have to keep that in mind. This is something we're trying to focus on. Yeah, so basically just to shape, that's going to be it.
Sure, and again, we're going to talk about plenty of those particular risk points as well as we continue the conversation. And then finally to you, Aizhan. The MBK sits at the center of Kazakhstan's financial system. What is the National Bank's strategic agenda on AI and digital transformation? And what has the MBK formally committed to? And what is it meant to achieve?
Thank you, Nikhil. Nice to meet you. Thank you. First of all, welcome everyone in our home, in our building. We have like very beautiful building. We just moved to this building like last year, and so we always proud to have local guests, international guests, and we very proud to host events such like this. Let me introduce myself and what I'm doing in National Bank. I'm the head of Digital Transformation Department, and I'm responsible for implementation of our digital transformation strategy. As a big picture, yeah, as I asked, as I said, we have a digital transformation strategy. We approved by the board of members in December 2024, and we have started implementing it in 2025. Right now is the second year of our implementation of our strategy. We have more than 100 projects in our strategy, and it's gonna last for 5 years, till 2029. And the big ambitious goal, big picture, is to build AI native model, digital first national bank, central bank in the region. And we have 5 big pillars. Working on this big ambitious goal is building modern infrastructure, is building AI native subtech platform, building agile culture, because we believe that we have to prepare our workforce and our people within NBK to the main new challenges that we have. Another big pillar is that we build data management strategy within NBK, because it's core, it's a fundament for AI, all AI or data related initiatives. And another one, we have more than 70 systems within our IT architecture, and some of them is a legacy system, some of them are not prepared for new challenges. That right now we are working on building different platforms based on this 70 legacy system. It's one of the biggest pillars as well. So, and personally, just for personal question, yes, we do use AI every day. I built my own system, Second Brain, and different types of agents based on Claude Cowork, Claude AI, but I would say different LLMs has different own features, and there is not you like Claude and you do everything on Claude. There is different models. Some of them we can use ChatGPT or Gemini and etc. So it depends on the goal. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your perspective. Since I asked all the panelists, I'll have to also tell you what my favorite tool is. And I'm a very loyal man. I've tried other particular partners, but I always come back to the same one, and that is ChatGPT. Okay, so I want to move on now from broad perspectives to the first main theme, which is what AI systems are actually live in Kazakhstan's financial sector, and what evidence shows that they are working. Now, when we talk about AI in financial services, this can mean many things. It can mean, for instance, rule-based automation that's being branded as artificial intelligence. It may mean machine learning models. It can also mean generative AI in customer interaction. It can mean AI systems also influencing credit fraud compliance or indeed supervision. So what I want to do first is establish a baseline. When we say AI in Kazakhstan's financial system, are we talking about genuine AI systems, or are we talking about systems informing consequential decisions? And where are they? Are they live? What are the performance metrics that are associated with it? And how do we know, actually, that these particular systems are working? Aizhan, I'm going to start with you from the central bank perspective, then move to you, Amangeldy, on the builder side, and then to you, Talgat, for AIFC's perspective. So, Aizhan, has the NBK deployed AI or machine learning tools to analyze supervisory data for risk signals, anomaly detection or reporting quality? And what have those tools caught that traditional methods missed?
Yeah, thank you. It's all about data quality. Yeah, let me first start from that, because I think we all understand that trash in, trash out, and not AI can help with trash data without normal data quality metrics. So for that reason, last year we built NBK Data Factory. It's on one of our biggest flagman projects. It's what is NBK Data Factory? It's a complex of components of different tools. It's a modern data warehouse. It's a data governance. It's a master data management. It's a different analytics tools such as sandboxes, ML tools, BI tools. So all of that is NBK Data Factory, and one of the main component is data governance and data quality within data governance. So how we work with supervision data, we have more than 1,000 respondents that from them we gather data to our NBK Data Factory, and we have 5 layers of data quality. So we check the quality metrics in every step. So when data comes from respondents, from financial sector financial subject sectors. So, and we check on the between forms and between data, and then on quality data we can use different ML techniques as well. Like recently we did. Right now it's MVP, it's a prototype. We are trying to catch some different suspicion patterns. It's regarding to ML. So especially we have colleagues from this department, and we launch it together. So it's a prototype. I can't share some results, I think, right now, because we are still working on methodology. We're still working on different types of techniques, different models. So, but yes, we are trying to use rule-based data quality technique, AI-based quality techniques to catch some hidden transaction, hidden networks for different events. Yeah.
So may I ask, is it making decisions, or it's just being used as a tool to support decision making?
No. It's a making for decision as a result, because it's a system of several AI agents. As a result, we have some report, and then based on this report, we our supervisory department, they talk to the subject, and they're trying to understand what case and what's transaction, and it helps a lot, I think, for our colleagues to reduce some time and routine, and for data cleaning purposes as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your example. Amangeldy, from the builder side, when financial institutions try to move AI from prototype to production, in your experience, what usually breaks first? Is it data access? Is it integration with legacy systems, model governance, procurement, or even trust, for instance? And which AI applications are you seeing that are most ready for production deployment at the moment?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So the first issue, I would say, is always the budget, right? But to speak for any other potential circumstances, so the first thing that comes to mind is data quality, as Aizhan said, and also data access, because at times our government agencies, they do not tend to share the information that they got from their institutions that they cover. So it's a bit hard for them to work, although we have systems like Smart Breach, which allows you to integrate with different data sources. But again, so we are, in particular, we are building a solution which helps you analyze crypto wallets and crypto risks, doing auto investigation on it. So we've seen that a lot of financial institutions, they just don't have an access to crypto wallets that their clients possess. And this is something that I think we need to do a better job on, because, again, even some private financial institutions like exchanges and banks, they do not share any information on their clients, even though they have already built integrations with each other. So this is a big challenge. I think this is the biggest challenge, because without any data, you just cannot implement your AI to work on it. You just need to have, like in crypto investigations, you just need to have one input, which is ultimately the crypto address, right? And you can start working on it because the whole other data is on the blockchain already, if we're talking about the on-chain data. So yeah, I would say the data access is the biggest challenge right now for financial institutions.
And any AI applications that you're seeing that are most ready for deployment?
It depends on what you're pursuing. Like what we're trying to do in our company, we're trying to implement AI securely, but in the way that it is efficient to an end user. So we combine different techniques. Basically what we do and what a lot of companies based in Kazakhstan and all over the world do, they do not try to build your own LLM. You just try to use the ones that you already have on the market because it's an easy access and it's the best solution that you can get. So what we do, we use the best solution on the market available. If due to benchmarks and other statistics, I would say there's a new AI built somewhere in Singapore or somewhere else, and it's beating like the cloud, ChatGPT, and etc. Then we're probably going to use that, use their enterprise API, and in the way to keep it secure. Again, we work only with blockchain data, so that means there is no access to personal data. So I would say you better use right now those tools that are beating everyone on the benchmark comparisons, because it don't make sense to use trying to develop your own LLM system or trying to develop the product that is seeking some new solution. You just gotta use the ones that are already on the market.
Sure. Thank you for your perspective. Over to you, Talgat. The AIFC has attracted fintech and regtech companies and has a mandate, of course, to develop the financial innovation ecosystem here. Which AI-driven financial applications within or around the AIFC perimeter are at a meaningful scale? So not just pilots, but do we have anything where their traction tells us already that they're really being used, there's real demand for them here?
Okay, so AIFC is quite big. It consists of a lot of bodies. It's not just the regulator, but it's also the exchange, the property business, right, the academy. So let's talk about AIX, which is our international exchange. I think that was the first production use of AI. We bought the solution that runs on our exchange. It's monitoring the activities of different brokers and then different individuals trying to find fraud, trying to find the suspicious activities. So this has been working very well. It's trained on a lot of the data worldwide. It's been used, as far as I know, in NASDAQ as well. It's the same engine, right? So using that helps us to understand the behavior analytics, and then try to prevent fraud or spot it early on when we see suspicious transactions. So someone was not active for 3 years, and right before some deal, he starts bidding, right? Either shorting a position or putting a call option or something. So this behavior is not natural. This is just a simple case. There are more sophisticated cases. That's one application of the AI that we found useful. It helped us to actually find a few incidents. I'm not going to disclose them, but there were some warnings that we have issued. There were some brokers that were warned. Another one is essentially tech support. Back in 2023, everybody was starting with a chatbot, right, which was trying to answer frequently asked questions. We ended up with creating a sort of a AI note-taker / employee, assigned it an email. The beauty of that was you can simultaneously have the same person in every meeting, which understands the context, every resolution, every project that's in the pipeline, right? So he knows it's common knowledge shared across all meetings. But like I said in the beginning, the problem is now who's responsible for this AI employee, right? It has its own email, but somebody in our labor code, or technically in any labor code, there is no, like if it's a person, you're like, yeah, you can fine him, you can fire him, you can give him negative recommendation if it fails, or praise him if he's good. But with AI, it's very hard. So right now we have a project manager assigned who is in charge, but even that project manager is not 100% sure of what's happening in that LLM's mind, right? And then we're trying to train it, like my colleagues have mentioned, accessing data that is ready for AI to be trained on is a big challenge. We did increase a lot of surveillance among the work that we do, trying to do more footage of actual human work. We do have human in the loop in almost every cycle, say in regulation. Let's say we're doing research. We have a research team which is studying different regulators, Dubai, DGM, right? Finding what are the good instruments that are being developed, what we need to bring to AIFC. But then that research, there is always human in the loop, right? Who's verifying everything. This kind of slows down the whole process. And if you remove the human, which we can, given all these new tools, is the responsibility problem. So that's a big challenge. We haven't found a solution to it yet, except having a project manager. And then the third big project that we're working on, like I said, is reputation scoring. It's essentially started with trying to link people in their social media, if they have relationship in which different projects, different forums, events, ended up even parsing some of the gossip websites, gossip Telegram channels, and then public media, trying to find the hidden links or relationships. This didn't get us anywhere officially because this is not official information. However, it helped us to build context and understand some of the personalities who are around the AIFC. Some of them might be, having negative, sending negative images. Could help us understand their behavior, where they come from, what project they're stuck with, why they have this. So it's more like a PR tool now for us. So we can more understand our participants and people around who couldn't get a license, for example. So AI essentially helps us to analyze a lot of data. But like I said, holding somebody responsible for its results is the biggest challenge that we're trying to resolve. Yeah.
No, thank you for your perspective. So we've heard from the panel now about some of the use cases that have been deployed that are actually, having consequential impacts in the market itself. Let's move on now to talk about some implementation challenges, talent, governance, and risk. So again, if we look at AI and financial services, it's not neutral. A model that's used in credit decisioning encodes assumptions and risk. A fraud model can, for example, exclude legitimate customers. A supervisory model can shape which institutions are examined. A customer-facing generative AI system can create conduct, accuracy, and trust risks. So the question here to the panel that we're going to be exploring is, what makes implementation difficult? What controls and capabilities need to be in place before AI is used in regulated financial processes? This time I'm going to start with you, Amangeldy. You've talked a little bit about the working with financial institutions for deployment. From a technical standpoint, when you're building these particular systems and deploying them, how do you help the financial institutions, which they need to be cognizant of because of their regulatory reporting requirements, to ensure that with the models that they're using, that there is explainability, auditability, and containment of model risk?
That's actually a very good question. So what we're trying to do in Cryptic AI, when you're building a report on some specific crypto wallet, you will see there's a special tab called evidence. So in this tab, you will see links to specific transaction hashes that you can check on the blockchain explorers. So even though if you won't have, or a person that you send the report to, they don't have an access to paid solutions, they just can click on the transaction hash and they will be redirected to blockchain explorers so they can see that the data is valid, the data is verified. And this is something that I think we did a really good job on, because the main concern with a lot of AI systems is essentially the black box mystery, when you don't know how exactly AI came to a certain conclusion. So what we'll also do, we also show you the investigation trail, so you can actually trace the whole investigation process. You see how AI agents, they do iterations, you see each iteration, you see what is the response they get through APIs or other data sources. So we're trying to make AI valid verifiable. So we actually supported a few court cases in Kazakhstan. I also worked on a few court cases in the US when we actually presented reports made in our solution to the court. We are still waiting for a court trial, but preliminary we used that. We are still hoping to have a real case scenario. So this, I would say, is the main concern, the data accuracy, but you should also, as I said before, you should also be concerned about the privacy. And in these terms, we also have a version which uses only on-premise solutions like open LLMs like DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Kimi, or any others. So we're working on that also. So we're trying to make sure that the data is stored securely, and you do not just feed US companies or any Chinese or any companies from abroad your data, because right now I think, like, if you haven't tried to ask ChatGPT to roast you, try it now, because it will show you that it knows much more of you than you probably assume. And yeah, for many people, AI just becomes an ultimate friend, even to say. So in this manner, we have to always consider data privacy. And this is something that I think we give a lot of solutions to our clients. And this is the right approach to do it.
I think that's an important topic on privacy with respect to models. I think many people don't realize how much data they're exposing when they do indeed talk to the models that are available online. And many people don't even realize that there's a button or a tab that you can go in and click which says do not train model, right? So if you haven't come across that, maybe you may think about pressing that, or unless you're happy for the future of humanity to continue with training of AI, that's also possible as well. Aizhan, moving over to you, and on the topic of talent and capability, we've talked, Amangeldy talked about, one of the constraints is budget, but talent is also a constraint, right? And it's named as one of the binding constraints for AI in finance. What is the National Bank doing to build AI capability inside its own workforce? And is it actually changing how people are working?
Yeah, it's a good question. Everyone knows it. Talent is like a real constraint. I mean, lack of the talent, real constraint that are ready to work in a fast-changing environment, to ready to be in this new AI agenda. So, as Talgat said, there is a principle, human in the loop. I would say there is from my perspective, the competent human in the loop should be. So we have to prepare our workforce, our people. So in NBK, within NBK, we have a top-down and bottom-up approach. From a top-down perspective, for example, the whole top management team, our governor, deputy governors, and all head of departments, they just recently completed a Stanford AI fundamentals course. So it helps us a lot. I mean, we can, at least we can talk to our top management with the same semantics and be on the same page, and they understand risks and problems and possibilities of AI systems and constraints as well. It's like AI is not magic. It's not magic because not all stakeholders, I think, understand it. And from the bottom-up approach, we have different programs. Like last year, we trained 300 people within NBK. Just to understand for the context, for the audience, there is 800 people working within NBK. So we trained 300 people with the basic AI knowledge. And we have a KPI from the governor to train, to cover 100% of the people working in the NBK and the regional branches of NBK. It's more than 2,000 people overall. But another, I idea that we have just recently launched. It's not like to train people what is model, what is LLM, and we are trying to train people how to use it properly. So recently we launched a local NBK AI challenge contest. And the goal of this contest that everyone in NBK should build own app in our sandbox. We just released our own Dev AI like sandbox. It's a full on-premise. It's in our infrastructure, so it's fully secure from a different perspective. So everyone should build own project, and then we have some monetary prizes. So I'm myself curious what is going to be as a result. It's related to our strategy. It's a horizontal implementation of AI initiatives, and I believe that from NBK perspective, every person responsible for AI implementation. It's not like a responsibility of a digital transformation team, but every person at some point, at some level, are responsible for AI implementation, and we are trying to talk to people and to include to our agenda, so with the different events and different contests. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Aizhan. And finally, Talgat, coming to you talking about governance and market standards. Within the AIFC perimeter, how are AI-driven financial services being assessed from a regulatory and supervisory perspective? Are there any particular AI use cases, such as RegTech, risk scoring, customer onboarding, that raise different issues for the AIFC?
Yeah, it's a big debate that's happening worldwide. We've been traveling a lot to different regulatory conferences with AFSA, which is our Financial Services Authority. Like I said, we have not taken the step toward actually assigning an AI to do any supervision or per se issuing licenses or making decisions. Just like Amangeldy has mentioned, it's a evidence-based report, which is we're using causable AI. It's a different type of than generative transformed like GPT. So causable AI is a slower and actually dumber model, but it doesn't hallucinate, which is important when you work with a lot of documents. I think in the back it uses something like QMK2, which was a big context window, but I'm not sure. So we're implementing it as a tool for our employees to do their work faster, but being frankly honest, there is no solution at AFSA that does it. At court, we have AI translation. We have AI assistant that will answer your question on our website. For the property management, you can rent offices. It will do the booking, but not for the RegTech or SubTech. Just because we are international jurisdiction, we have to be very careful because there are, different authoritative associations that are backing AIFC reputation, and then we don't want to do something that will cause questions, right, in our compliance procedures or our supervision or regulation. However, I'd like to mention one thing about the what is being done by the government, which we really like, which helps to implement AI faster. It's the AI ministry. They have provided us with a supercomputer, which helps us to do a virtual, it's essentially a virtual GPU machine, right, where we can deploy a local, there is a website called Hugging Face. I'm sure a lot of AI enthusiasts know it. So on Hugging Face, you can have, I think, 400, 800 models of different AIs that you can just install on your GPU, on a virtual GPU, and then run isolated environment, which is great for privacy. And considered it's our supercomputer in Kazakhstan, it comes at pretty much zero cost. But the training that the AI ministry provides, teaching prompt engineers, is also helping. I wish our management also went to Stanford, right? But we're right now dealing with the course that we have. There is one more thing that I think is an important part. Since everybody is the infrastructure for the data center is being built. There's a lot of investment happening. People are learning AI and using AI already. Like you, in the beginning, did a survey in the room. Everybody's using AI. So the question comes to the data, the quality, and the ability. So we launched last year in April a project. You can search for it. It's called Data Marketplace, datamarketplace.kz or Data Marketplace AIFC. You can look it up. It's our effort to teach small, medium enterprises start using their data as a potential income. And we're trying to do a data exchange, which is not a regulated exchange yet. We've been studying the Shanghai Data Exchange case, which is very interesting. It's a national exchange that they can, trade or rent data. I think investing on our side, investing into this project is a good solution because is a good decision because not only we gather data from the SMEs, it will help us to shape better country indices for different researchers, but also tell the businesses that they need to care about the data. They need to be motivated to clean their data, to make it accurate, and it could be tax breaks, it could be different points that they can exchange with our partners. We're still working on the incentives, and I know that National Bank is also launching with their academy a project for financial literacy and AI literacy, and that initiative is also great because they're going into schools, teaching youngsters to learn AI early. Yeah, I think the AI is a big thing for 3 years, but for the application in our financial center, pet projects, yes. Projects for our efficiency, yes. For RegTech and SubTech, not yet, because we don't know how to regulate it, because we don't know how to, if there is a case, everybody's happy when everything's okay, but if something goes wrong, if a fraud happens or something wrong happens, the reputation is damaged or the economy is damaged, who to blame, right? So that's a big question.
And it's very interesting as well, you mentioned this data marketplace that you're working on there. Is this also an area of combining technologies together? Are you thinking also about AI with blockchain here as well? Or?
Yeah, the way it works, so traditionally when you work as a data scientist, right? I'm a computer software engineer in my bachelor's, right? When I used to work with data, you get a lot of raw data and you're trying to match the whatever your user is looking for throughout the data, try and search. With AI, you can end up with a prompt box, right? Where you can say how many pedestrians were crossing this street, right? And then look through all the data available and come up with an answer. And then with the evidence and whatever it's based on. So this is how the work with data is being approached. So now having your own local data scientist working at your SME is becoming affordable. You don't have to hire somebody who will cost you money. You can just put your data into some safe environment like Data Marketplace, and we'll take care of packaging it, trying to get value out of it, get insights, and then say, all right, you're say a pharmacy shop. This data could be interested to a big pharma, right? Do you care? Do you mind, or do you want to sell it or rent it to maybe AstraZeneca or some other big pharma? So we can help them find value because they're already sitting on this data. The national regulation obligates you to store your data for 5 years at your premise, and then you have to send it to national archives. But it's not national statistics. It's not because it's private data, right? And then parsing this data, putting it in a data lake essentially, and then putting some AI in it is a good effort that we're trying to build together with businesses right now. Okay.
Good, thank you for that. We've talked a little bit now on the second part on implementation challenges, risks, and so forth. This last part I just want to come briefly to the panel about is the future plans for AI in Kazakhstan, your organization, and so forth. One thing that I want to start off with, and again I'll start with you in this time, Talgat, is you touched briefly on this idea of using AI for supervisory decision making and so forth, right? But in terms of kind of AI governance frameworks, there are several that exist, throughout the world. For example, you've got the EU AI Act, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework, UK approach. I mean, the UK sector-specific approaches that have been developed by the British government as well. From your perspective, with the AIFC, which of these frameworks have you been looking at? Which of these do you think is most relevant for Kazakhstan's context?
Okay, so when we studied benchmark, right, we call it the institutions that we look into. We look at the United States, we look at UK, we look at Asia. So they have their own mentality, culture, and context, right? UK is very institutional. The way they do their standards, the way they do their regulations is different from this region where we're working at, right? So I think even if we see a good case of AI adoption, like you mentioned, it still comes down to whether we want to take the responsibility for the risk, essentially to trust AI, to make decisions, to give, essentially it's either you give a license or not, right? Or you consider an action something that violates your integrity or any other rules. So this judgment, including our court as well, we'd like to keep humans for now, just because we're not sure that we want to, there is no limitations on whether the judge or the regulator or uses AI to do their evidence or their homework or whatever, the study, the research. But internally, we just haven't decided. It was the same with the board member, right? When Samruk Kazana announced a board member, we also thought of that. It would be a great, fancy story of AIFC having a board member. But then what if he or she or it votes against something or for something that we don't like in the end, and then it causes, it's classified as a bad decision? What do you do to this AI? You cannot unplug it from the network, right? You can't delete the hard drive. You have to punish. This is the level of responsibility we'd like to keep at human level, because humans will live with this reputation, so we care about it. We don't want to go to jail. We don't want to be fined. We don't want to lose our job. So I think we haven't found a comforting. It hasn't to do anything with what's happening in the world. We study, but it comes down to a personal, board decision. Do we want to test it? As of today, we haven't found a good justification to remove this responsibility from a human and give it to AI. Although we are AI friendly, like I said, it's in our name, right? Okay.
No, it's a very good point you make about accountability, right? There's not enough, say, trust yet, I suppose, to make AI accountable in that sense. And indeed, there's been many times, even as a university professor, students have come to me and said, well, it's not my fault, it's AI's fault, right? So this is also something that is developing people's mindsets. Aizhan, if I may come to you, with respect for AI and supervision as well, on a similar theme with Talgat, how is AI being embedded into the National Bank's supervision process? You've touched on a little bit about this, and how is it also changing the way supervision works? Again, you talked about the workforce being trained. Can you expand on this a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Just for the context, we have for financial industry, we have 3 regulators. Just make sure that people understand, because not everyone in Kazakhstan sometimes understands the difference between regulators that we have for financial industry. We have a national bank itself. We have a financial agency. It's supervision for banks, insurance, etc. And we have, of course, AIFC. It's a different regulation regime. And a national bank is responsible for price stability and financial stability oversight. But we have a little bit some part of the financial industry that we are supervising right now. It's a payment industry, payment organization, payment system, and new industry that right now is coming out is a financial assets industry. From the May 1st regulation have started. So for this part of this supervision, we are right now working on our new AI-enabled subtech platform that we can see how different transactions related to financial assets is linked, what kind of subjects we have, what kind of scoring we have, different profiles. We are working on a project. I think soon we're gonna share with results. But the main principle that I want to say here, we have we always saying that same activities, same risk, same regulation. It should be across all our supervision landschaft, across all our regulators. So it's our federated model of regulation within country. But the main, I think, business of National Bank of Kazakhstan is analytics and data-driven solutions and etc. I can deep dive what projects we have in this area. So, for example, we have a prototype of NBK AI Monetary Policy Assistant. It's a virtual or digital member of Monetary Policy Committee. So, it's a interesting project. There is a lot of skeptics about it, but let's see what's gonna happen, because there is a different types of sources, there is a different types of agenda, and there is a different infrastructure questions that we have to solve before the real virtual member of monetary policy committee is gonna work. But this project is very interesting for our governor, for our deputy governor, so we invest a lot of to this project. Another one, we have a lot of graph analytics related to transaction analytics. And another project for financial stability, our colleagues from Financial Stability Department, they just built as they called Bank Scope AI, is a tool that can write some reports for bank situation. We have 23 banks in our system for different banks related to our different source of information. It's information from our data warehouse, regulatory reporting. It's information from media, from internet, from social media, and etc. So, for the bank, we have whole information for the who is a key stakeholder, what's happened to stakeholders, and etc. What's happened to financial indicators, and then we can oversight financial stability overall. So yeah.
Thank you, and it's great hearing from your perspectives on, even the consideration of an AI board member or an AI member of the MPC to help with those kind of decision making. And in fact, we've had, I remember it's been some time now that even governments have appointed AI, not an AI minister, but a minister who is an AI, right? I think it was in Albania, or had a case where there was a minister who was an AI, no?
Just quickly, one question to the audience. If you come to court, would you want the AI judge to be taking over your case? Because you want to keep that human factor. This is what I mean, right? You can't just give it to AI. And same with the doctor, right? If you do surgery, some things you want to keep humans. This is also how we treat regulation and court. This is why we're careful. Yeah, right?
That's a great example. And finally, Amangeldy, over to you on this last part. You're building a business on the premise that Kazakhstani financial institutions will deploy AI at an increasing scale. What's your honest assessment of institutional readiness, and what would help you the most beyond budget to get AI more into the Kazakhstan financial system?
Is it on? Yeah. That's actually, again, another great question. So as you can tell from the topics discussed by Aizhan and Talgat, you can tell that the Kazakhstan government officials, Kazakhstan government officers, they are pretty qualified for building AI solutions. This is something that I think we have done a really great job, because if you go to any government institution, you will see a digital department in it. You will see a lot of software engineers. You will see a lot of project and even product managers working there. And it's actually easier for us as a software developers to communicate with the government, who actually understands what we are talking about, right? So I would estimate our readiness is high. There's always a room to improve. I would say that each organization, large organization, should consider hiring an AI AI officer. This is not the person who is mastered machine learning or who has mastered vibe coding. This should be somebody who understands AI on the institutional level, who understands all the risks, who can do assessment of the risks, who can build the strategy of your organization to use AI properly. So I would estimate it, again, Kazakhstan potential is really high in that matter. I would say that there is nothing really from the market to really add to competences of people working in government, because they already have lots of competences, they already have lots of qualification. But at the same time, again, we had cases when we were going on POCs, we were showing our products, and then some of the authorities, they decided to build their own. So usually I say, that's completely okay. I'm happy for you. Just make sure you keep my number, just to call me afterwards. But yeah, that's right. It's just, if you want an analogy, again, not to say anything opposite of that, this is really great that we have digital departments and we have software engineers in it, but you cannot cover all of the potential aspects that you'll be working on. Like, to give you a perspective, you don't produce like medicines, you don't produce pills yourself, although you can buy yourself a 3D printing machine, you can buy yourself ingredients, you can find a recipe on ChatGPT and try to like prepare that medicine for you, but again, it's going to cost you more and it's going to be less effective and it might be dangerous for you, right? Same goes with AI systems. Not to, again, advertise any of our services, not to advertise somebody else, just the way it is. Not to take anything away from the government agencies. Again, as I said, I have a lot of respect for them. I have a lot of belief in the, like, that they will lead us to the right direction, because we as a nation, I think we showed worldwide that we are really capable. We have cases of Kaspi Bank being discussed, I think, in Harvard or in, yeah, I'm just about to finish, or in Stanford University, something like that. So this just proves to the point that we are really technology driven. So yeah, I would say we are pretty ready. We just have to, I think, communicate more with each other just to see how we can help each other. And I think we can build a great AI nation in here.
Fantastic, thank you. I was going to go to the audience for questions, but if we're running short of time, if I may just ask each panelist to just sum up their thoughts on AI in Kazakhstan with one closing sentence as a remark. If I can start with you, Aizhan.
Thank you, Nikhil, for this session. Just to conclude, I truly believe that we have historical moment and historical opportunity to build new industries based on AI. We have a strong support from our governor, from the president. So I think like Kazakhstan is an AI native country, and we have an AI native regulation. So we have like 5 years maximum to build and use this historical momentum, I think.
Thank you. Talgat?
Yeah, I'll just add, not only we are supportive in front of the government, meaning president, the minister, and everything, but we also have cheap electricity, and we're building a lot of data centers. So that's also that. The infrastructure is there, the supercomputer is there, it's a good time. Kazakhstan is having its own momentum right now. It's a good time to build something here.
Fantastic. Amangeldy?
I totally agree with what have been said before. If I can conclude in one sentence, when me and my colleagues, my friends, we get the latest news on AI, I usually say to them, like, go find a job on a farm right now. Start looking for another job, right? Because we're about to be replaced. But yeah, I believe that we're going to grow economically with AI adoption. And I just agree with the point of Talgat that we have a lot of momentum because we are, in a way, we are in a specific zone and we are between two of the biggest neighbors in the world, two of the biggest economies. And we got to utilize that. We got to provide them with the opportunities, data centers, as Talgat said. We got to use that, leverage it, and make sure it helps us grow economically and it keeps us safe.
Fantastic. Audience, would you join me in thanking the panelists for sharing their view this afternoon? Thank you.